Well, hello again. It is Tuesday. It's one of my favorite days of the week. We get to announce and honor our newest and latest releases of published books, incredible authors. We call it our Light the Torch Tuesdays. And we are so excited to announce our newest book release today called Espresso Yourself, a Cup of Resilience. I am joined with one of the contributing authors, Erica. There is a total of 11 incredible women who shared a little bit about resilience. And I'm really excited to talk about this book. And Erica, do you just want to introduce yourself? Tell the world a little bit about who you are, what you do, and then we'll go from there.
Great. My name is Erica Elliott. I'm excited to be here. I am a counselor, a coach. I am an author and a speaker, and I'm just excited to be here and grateful for She Rises community.
Thank you. And my name is Hanna Olivas. I'm one of the co-founders of She Rises Studios. I am a serial author. I write and write and write in all different genres, and just I love writing. I find it very therapeutic. So this book came from one morning I was sitting and I was like putting life into the analogy of espresso shots and coffee. And I was feeling very in my space of what resilience looks like. And just, I was kind of doing a recap of life actually over this particular morning cup of coffee. So I was wanting to figure out how can I express this? And I kept hearing the words, express yourself. And then I was like, no, this has to be different. Like, I'm a coffee lover. The world loves coffee, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, I love what I came to. I love marketing, branding. And so this one I called Espresso Yourself, a Cup of Resilience, because how many of us wake up every day for a cup of coffee, which then turns into resilience, blessings, craziness, chaos, beauty, storms, et cetera, et cetera. So that is kind of where this book came from. I can tell you where I was sitting, what was happening. And my chapter is called Cup of Resilience because I have to drink a cup of that every single day. So we are just joined by another contributing author. Her name is Stacy. Stacy, do you want to share a little bit about who you are and what you do? Did we lose her? Maybe. All right, we'll go back to Stacy. So anyway, Erica, can you share with us a little bit about what your chapter is about and what you titled your chapter?
All right. Mine was called Discovering My Place in the World. And I kind of took people on a little journey of my childhood, just going, how it seems like people had an idea of their lives, but nobody taught me how to live life, what to do, how to figure out what you're supposed to do in life. And along the way, though, I'm grateful that I had amazing godly people in my life who showed me how to tune in and talk to God and read scripture. And so for me, my direction came learning from God. And so this particular journey was about how many times I fell and God picked me back up and said, now it's this direction or it's this direction. And it's not always that it's a straight path for your entrepreneurship journeys and in life.
There's no straight path, right? Hence the cup of resilience.
Yes.
I wanted to share with you, with all the viewers and people who are going to watch this replay, a little excerpt from my chapter, which is something I never, ever do. But I just wanted to kind of set the foundation for the person who is going to pick this book up. And I hope that it is a book that you will keep close to you. Wherever you're drinking that morning cup of resilience, whether it's a tea or a coffee, I want you to think of it as like you're partaking in this cup of resilience and you are ready to start the day. So just to give you a little background on this particular morning, like I said, I know where I was and what was happening. And I wrote, I have had a morning when I sat on the edge of my bed, paralyzed, not because I was lazy, but because my soul was exhausted. I've had days when brushing my teeth felt like climbing a mountain. I would stare at my coffee mug, waiting for it to give me the energy I couldn't seem to find anywhere else. There were days I prayed for silence, but couldn't escape the noise in my own mind. Days when I was a mother, a wife, a CEO, a patient, a caregiver, a fighter. And I didn't know how to be any of those things anymore. My body was breaking down from my illness. My mind was on the edge, and my spirit felt like it was cracking. And so I dive into where the whisper came, but something inside me said, just make the coffee. Just make the coffee. Like that was the first start. So I did. And it was one of the hardest cups I've ever had to make. It was one sip, one step. And that's kind of how I moved forward that particular day and pretty much ever since. So to me, resilience is so deep, and there's so many ways that women encompass the word resilience. It's through action, it's through feeling, it's through all of those different things. And that's why I so deeply wanted this to be a coffee table book, so to speak, or a nightstand book or something like that, just so that when you are feeling those days of like, oh my gosh, you just can't do another day, that this book is one that just speaks to your soul. So to me, I think this book is for men and women to read. It's not just women, even though women are the ones who wrote the book. So I think, Stacy, I think you got your tech stuff figured out.
Yeah, it's not working on the computer, but I got it on the phone.
So do you want to share a little bit about who you are, what you do, and your chapter?
Oh my goodness. Sure. I run a law firm. I run my husband's law firm, and I volunteer. I'm a big volunteer for a national organization. I work in advocacy, and I'm the president of the area out here in California. Hadassah is the organization I volunteer for. And I think my title was Resilience Isn't a Straight Line.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about how you getting through things, and it's not always easy, and you twists and turns to get there. And it's really what it's all about and how I made it through.
Well, thank you. Do you want to share a little bit, Erica, about from your chapter? Do you want to talk about a little bit?
Sure, I could do that. So I think I will start a little bit later in the chapter. So 4 years ago, my life took an unexpected and challenging turn when I fell gravely ill. The toll of years spent neglecting my body's needs finally caught up with me. I had manifested numerous achievements: modeling for magazines, publishing songs, leadership, creating programs to train counselors, and helping thousands of people heal, grow, glow, and soar. Yet my body, like an overworked Mack truck, eventually broke down. During my recovery, I sought to understand how I manifested this. I came to realize that clarity and prioritization are essential to living a balanced and fulfilled life.
Beautiful. I could totally see you modeling. That wasn't my only takeaway, but I could see it. I could totally see it.
I think that's the thing, all the paths, right? You got a lot of paths, and you're like, okay, God, where next?
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Stacy, do you want to read an excerpt from your chapter?
I'm looking for it right now and I can't even find it. I don't even know where it is.
Well, while you're searching,
Awesome.
this book is available currently in ebook. It just released today. It's all across Amazon and it is circulating to retailers as we speak. So, and it will also be available in hard copy as well. As I mentioned earlier, there's 11 contributing authors to this book. And this book belongs on desks near the closest space and place to you, honestly. Or if you're one of those who really loves to have that morning cup of resilience, this one would be for you. So I'm very excited about this one. I mean, I'm always excited about all the books that we write, honestly. So if you have been following She Writes the Studio story or mine or any of the authors just along in the journey of every person has shown resilience. Every person has, like Stacy said, there's no straight path to resilience. There's no right or wrong. It's just, it's something that I think it's a muscle. Honestly, I picture it as a muscle and it's always getting worked out. And, sometimes it's stronger than others. But what I never, ever can see is someone not having resilience. Like that resilience is just something I think that is deeply embedded and it's something that we can't lose but it is something that we can develop more of. And resilience is also having a great sense of humor too. That's another part of resilience. And there's a lot of humor in this book too. It's not just all serious and it's not a book meant to make you just sob. It's more meant to make you laugh and feel the feelings and know that you're not alone, and that everyone needs that cup of resilience to start their day. So, Stacey, did you locate your chapter?
I did.
All right.
So do you want me to just read a little bit of it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so mine is Resilience Isn't a Straight Line. It's my story of survival, surrender, and strength. And as I was saying, resilience is a word we often hear tossed around, a buzzword that can suggest boundless bravery or unbreakable will. But I've learned firsthand that real resilience isn't a shiny badge or a fixed trait. It's messy, quiet, and often painfully uncertain. It's a quality that grows and changes, emerging in moments you least expect and hiding in places you can't quite see. Most of all, it's not a straight line from hurt to healing. It's a winding path full of detours, setbacks, and small but meaningful victories. I'll go on and I've probably been to 6 different therapists. Sometimes I wonder if that's typical for people who've gone through what I have: extreme trauma, a sexually abusive stepfather, an absent father, and a mother who struggled with addiction. Out of those 6 therapists, I recall not connecting with 2 men. Maybe I needed a sense of feminine solidarity, a woman's empathy for what it felt like growing up where every day could bring a new reason to be afraid.
That's deep.
Yeah.
It really is. That is very intimate and very deep. What do you think when you ladies were writing your chapter in this particular book? What was something that you noticed came out for you?
Well, I will say for me, it was really just reminding me always that God's with me no matter what. From the age of a little girl, because I talk about that at the beginning of the chapter, all the way through to, not knowing what I was going to do when my body and health crashed and wondering if I would ever be able to counsel again, if I could, have the stamina and recover at the time. And so it was kind of one of those just going right back to, what, God, you're my constant. And so I don't know what's going to happen. This might be my thorn in my flesh. And if it is, I will still serve. Help me learn how to do this. And I think out of that, he taught me more about, and get a little tearful, of just laying down my life and saying, here, as a way of going, I got so much better than you can even think or imagine.
Mm, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. What about you, Stacy? Did anything come up to
Yeah.
surface for you?
I realized when I started writing that I felt scrappy. I felt tired. And I felt like I had clawed my way through parts of my life with nothing but grit and stubbornness. And I realized that I had been through so many things that I wouldn't even discuss at a dinner party, things that I would only whisper in a therapy room. And this brought it all to the front for me.
Mm.
That's a big, huge realization.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want you to know therapy is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the best decisions I ever made. So thank you for sharing that openly, because I think sometimes when people say I'm in therapy, I feel like there's like this stigma, but that's a part of our journey is, we have to be able to be safe or feel safe to be able to share things that, like what you just said, you wouldn't normally talk about at a dinner table. So I think that takes a lot of courage. For me, one of the things that I noticed was I didn't realize how tired I was until I was writing and realizing like all the different things up to age 50 that had occurred, and that I'm still standing and I'm still here. And now maybe some of those experiences and things that I went through, I can share so that others won't have to experience it, or that maybe I will offer words of comfort or support. But I was like, when I was reading and thinking about all the different things, I said, whoa, wow, I am so blessed. I literally have nothing to complain about. Illness, no illness, craziness through life. Like, we're still here, we're still standing, and we're still resilient. That was my thought of many.
Yeah, sometimes it's doing things that are really hard, even when you feel like you can't, and showing up anyway. It's having that leap of faith, and just, you have to leave the soil that's suffocating you so that your roots can grow.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Well, ladies, I want to thank you so much for coming on with me today and lighting the torch for this book. And for everyone watching who's going to rewatch this, grab this book, gift this book. It is available in ebook. And in 2 weeks from today, it will be in hard copy. And I always say get both. I don't know. I'm just one that loves both. I like to, do all the fun things in books when I'm reading them. But congratulations to 11 authors in making a beautiful book, and a super, super huge thank you to all of the supporters, people who are going to read this book. And I hope you enjoy your cup of resilience as much as we enjoyed writing it and sharing it with you. So thank you, ladies, for being here today. And you can grab the book, Espresso Yourself, A Cup of Resilience. As soon as we get off this live, you can order it.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Yay.